In 1908, a mysterious book titled The Kybalion was published. Its authorship is attributed to three anonymous individuals who called themselves the Three Initiates. They compiled the teachings of the ancient master Hermes Trismegistus, who is situated in pre-pharaonic Egypt and is associated with the figure of the god Thoth. The purpose of this work, shrouded in an aura of mystery and esoteric wisdom, was to condense all the ancestral knowledge inherited from ancient civilizations into 7 comprehensible and applicable Hermetic principles. This provided a guide for those seeking to understand the underlying laws of the universe, and how these could be applied to deliberately influence the 3 planes of existence: physical, mental, and spiritual. Throughout history, these teachings have been jealously guarded by groups and lodges, maintaining strict secrecy over this knowledge. Simply reading many of these ancient texts does not always reveal their true meaning. Because these teachings and their practitioners were persecuted in various eras, they had to be written in symbolic or coded language. A clear example of this is found in most alchemical and Hermetic texts. Few will fully comprehend these texts, and even fewer will put them into practice. If knowledge is not used or expressed, it becomes useless, incapable of providing any benefit to its possessor. It is crucial not only to study the axioms and aphorisms, but also to apply them in daily life. Each individual must internalize these principles, practice them, and apply them as they truly become a possession only when put into practice. The Hermetic principles are 7 and are all interconnected. The first principle is mentalism, upon which all the others depend and derive. If we start from the foundation that the universe is a mental creation and everything is sustained in the mind of the all, then all creation must have its origin in the mind. According to another principle found in the Kybalion, the principle of correspondence, just as the all creates with its mind, so can we create with our minds. The principle of correspondence posits that there is always a relationship between the laws of phenomena in different planes of existence. As above, so below; as below, so above. It establishes that there is harmony between the physical, mental, and spiritual planes. However, there is also a hierarchy where the subtle gives rise to the dense and the spirit orders and creates matter. This aligns, or rather resonates, with another of the 7 principles, the principle of vibration. This principle states that everything is in motion, that nothing remains still. It explains the differences between the various manifestations of matter, force, mind, and even spirit, from which everything proceeds. The vibration of the spirit is so immense that it can be practically considered at rest. It's like a wheel spinning so fast that it appears motionless. At the other end of the scale, we find forms of matter so dense, whose vibration is so weak, that they also appear to be at rest. As above, so below once again. From the very essence of the all, whose vibration is immense, all creation emanates, which vibrates at different levels. It is the lower levels or lower frequencies that give rise to matter. All of this confirms the mental and subtle nature of existence. By understanding these axioms, we realize that what we see reflected in our material existence is a byproduct of a mental or spiritual vibration. Therefore, to influence and change our surroundings and the physical reality we experience, we must change the nature of our thoughts, our minds, and alter our vibratory state. Here, another of the 7 Hermetic principles comes into play: the principle of polarity. You can modify your mental vibrations through an effort of will, deliberately focusing on the desired state. Will directs attention, and this changes the vibration. To eliminate an undesirable mental state, use the principle of polarity and focus your attention on the opposite pole of the one you wish to suppress. This is one of the most useful Hermetic formulas. The principle of polarity operates along a vibratory scale with different degrees, ranging from positive to negative. Where the positive is of a higher nature than the negative, a mental state and its opposite are simply 2 poles of the same thing, and through mental transmutation that polarity can be reversed. If one experiences fear, it is futile to try to suppress it. Instead, one must cultivate courage and the fear will disappear. Consider this example. If you wish to cease being ignorant, you cannot simply erase that ignorance as one erases a word from a chalkboard. Ignorance will fade as you acquire knowledge. It is similar to eliminating darkness from a room. You just need to turn on the light. To eliminate a negative quality, focus on the positive pole of that same quality, and the vibrations will gradually shift from negative to positive. The mind, like metals and elements, can transmute from one degree to another, from one condition to another, from pole to pole, and from vibration to vibration. Mastering polarity means mastering the principles of mental transmutation or alchemy. It is crucial to gain proficiency in the art of mental transmutation to similarly transform the world around us. But we must also consider another of the 7 principles, the principle of rhythm. This principle is intrinsically linked to the principle of polarity. Where there is action, there will be reaction. Where there is advance, there will be retreat. Where there is ascent, there will be descent. This law applies to everything. Suns, worlds, animals, mind, energy, matter. It manifests in the creation and destruction of worlds, in the rise and fall of nations, in life and death, and ultimately in the mental states of humans. However, even though the universe always seeks balance, we are not obligated to remain stuck in negative states. Understanding the rhythm and balance of the cosmos gives us perspective and acceptance when the pendulum swings toward negative polarity. Yet, as masters of Hermetic arts, we have the tools to tilt the balance back toward the positive. One of the Hermetic axioms states that higher planes govern lower planes, just as higher laws govern lower ones. Rhythm can be neutralized through the art of polarization. Consciousness exists on both higher and lower planes, and by mentally ascending to the higher plane, the master causes the oscillation of the mental pendulum to manifest on the lower plane while remaining unaffected on the higher plane, thus freeing their consciousness from the counter-oscillation. This is achieved by polarizing oneself in the higher self, thus raising the mental vibrations of the ego above the ordinary plane of consciousness. It is like rising above something and allowing it to pass below. Those who have attained a certain mastery polarize themselves in the positive pole of their being, in the I am rather than in the pole of their ego, and by refusing and denying the operation of rhythm, they rise above their plane of consciousness. By applying higher laws, they gain mastery over the lower ones. All individuals who have achieved any degree of personal mastery practice this, regardless of whether they understand the law. They simply refuse to be carried away by oscillations and, firmly asserting their superiority, remain positively polarized. The master attains a greater degree of perfection because they fully understand the law they are mastering, and with the help of a higher law and their will, they achieve a degree of balance and steadiness almost inconceivable to those who are swept away by emotional oscillations. They understand that everything on the lower planes is dual in nature, and by using their mind, they overcome adversities. They know that, ultimately, everything is Maya, a mental creation of the all, where the being experiences itself in countless forms and consciousnesses. They also comprehend that they are not just a creation of the all, but part of it. They are essentially divine, a fractal of the all or the source, an eternal spirit incarnated in this material existence to evolve, experience, and remember itself. They know that by the principles of fractality and correspondence, they also have the power to create and shape their own reality with the mind behind the teachings transmitted by various masters and ancient cultures such as Hinduism, Buddhism, and Hermeticism. Or even Jesus of Nazareth lies the principle of the mental or spiritual nature of the universe. If the universe is mental, it is easy to deduce that mental transmutation must modify and transform the conditions and phenomena of the universe, and that the mind must be the greatest power we have to affect these phenomena to transmute our lives. There are 2 Hermetic principles left to discuss: the principle of cause and effect, which has its Hindu equivalent in the concept of karma. I have created a specific video exploring this principle in depth, which will complement this information very well. The link is in the description and also above. Finally, there is the principle of generation, often misunderstood and underestimated. But it could be the key to unlocking the manifestation on the physical plane of the things we desire or need. Understanding and applying this last principle could be the fundamental piece that completes the cycle of all mental and material creation and transmutation. If you are interested in a video exploring this last Hermetic principle in depth, let me know in the comments and I will get to it. Thank you very much for watching until the end, and I will see you in the next video.